Trump just announced a program that will literally give money to every child in America. It's called Trump Accounts, and major corporations are already signing up to fund it. But here's what nobody's talking about: the timing of the announcement and who was standing right next to him when he made it. Now, this is not just about your money or kids. This is about creating a generation of Americans who grow up thinking the government should manage their investments. Think about it. Every child in America will have their financial future tied to the stock market from birth. What happens when those accounts lose value? Who gets blamed? And what happens to parents who don't want their kids in this system? The social pressure alone will be enormous. Politically, it's genius. Trump is literally buying the next generation's loyalty with their own future earnings. By the time these kids can vote, they'll have been conditioned to see government-managed investment accounts as normal. Now, this fundamentally changes the relationship between citizen and state. Now, I personally like it, but I do need to talk to you about some strategic investments in America's future. Here's something that should terrify every single parent. Some breaking news that January 5th of this year, the U.S. Department of Energy announced $2.7 billion in contracts to restore domestic uranium enrichment capabilities. Now, it's not just government spending. It's a declaration of intent. See, America needs uranium. It needs domestic uranium, and it needs it right now. Did you know the U.S. consumes over 50 million pounds of uranium annually, but produces less than 5% domestically? We're completely dependent on foreign sources, including countries that don't exactly love us. Well, politicians promise your kids investment accounts, smart money with moving into the resources that actually power our civilization. Nuclear energy is not just the future, it is the present reality keeping our lights on. And Atomic Minerals is positioned at the center of this uranium renaissance with projects specifically designed to rebuild America's energy independence. When the grid fails, when foreign suppliers cut us off, uranium becomes more valuable than any government promise. That is the kind of real security parents should be thinking about. A politician promise digital dollars. Check out the full briefing linked below, and we thank them for supporting this program. But back to the Trump accounts. Did you notice Michael Dell's specific language? He said essentially every child in America. Not every child, essentially every child. That word choice matters. It suggests this won't be truly universal, so who gets left out? And Nicki Minaj being there is not random. She has massive influence with young parents, especially in communities Trump traditionally struggles with. Now, here is Nicki Minaj making her big announcement at the opening.
Well, I don't know what to say, but I will say that I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's going to motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him.
Amen. Amen, amen. Amen. Should I go? All right. So the bombshell opening sets up star power. Now watch Trump work the room with his signature humor. President Trump made queen of rap Nicki Minaj laugh out loud. Let's listen.
And Nicki makes a lot of cash. Not as much as Michael Dell. Not quite. Not as much. But that's okay. But Nicki makes a lot of... And Nicki makes a lot of cash. Not as much as Michael Dell. Not quite. Not as much. But that's okay. But Nicki makes a lot of...
cash. A lot of cash. The chemistry is clear, but the celebrity endorsement is only the warm-up for the real policy bombshell that comes next. And here she is from another angle, I guess.
Hello.
one thing.
So her enthusiasm is infectious, but the president's about to drop the financial details that change everything. Here is the president speaking about the Trump accounts.
To celebrate a thrilling new milestone for America, the first generation of Trump account children. Trump account children. For the first time ever, we're going to give every newborn American child a financial stake in the future, head start at life, and a fair shot at the American dream, something people don't talk about so much, at least not for the last 4 years they haven't been, but now they're talking about it big. This last period of time, it's been unbelievable. You see what's going on with our economy, the tremendous investments that's been made in our country. We have over $18 trillion coming in. The most, I think, was 3. That was 10 years ago, another country, not even our country. We have $18 trillion, and we have thousands of businesses being built all over the country, and hundreds of massive plants, so big, car plants, AI plants.
This is only the beginning. The first generation now being born. Here's the headline promise. Now brace for the staggering dollar amounts Trump is putting behind the vision. Holy cow. $3 to $4 trillion of wealth.
Going to put $3 to $4 trillion of wealth into the hands of young Americans who otherwise would have really started out with nothing. It's really an amazing thing because it gives young children that start out with really nothing, and we gives them, boy, it's more money than anybody could imagine. From their standpoint, they'll have a real start in life, and that's why decades from now, I believe the Trump accounts will be remembered as one of the most transformative policy innovations of all time. And I've done a lot of them. The tax cuts, we've done a lot of them, more than I think anybody, and I think this is going to be one of the most outstanding.
I think I'm going to go have a baby. I'm going to make a baby. Angie, get ready. We're gonna get some Trump account money coming in. $3 to $4 trillion. That's not a typo, and Trump's just getting started on why this matters. Here's more on the president's Trump accounts from earlier today.
Every president in modern history has left our children with nothing but debt. But under this administration, we're going to leave every child with real assets and a shot at financial freedom. We'll ensure that Americans don't just end their lives with a nest egg, but instead all Americans will begin their lives with a beautiful nest egg.
A beautiful nest egg. When you begin your life, the generational wealth angle is powerful. Watch how Trump frames this against every other president. Check this out.
Perhaps no provision of the great big beautiful bill will prove more consequential than Trump accounts. Under this program, the U.S. government will automatically create a tax-free investment account for every newborn American child, something that nobody really would have even thought of. There were some brilliant people that thought of it for a long time. They're here with us today. We're going to introduce a couple of them. But nobody really, I mean, I've had friends at the top people in business. They came up to me, whose idea was this? This is great. They said, I never thought of that. We'll fund those personal accounts with a seed contribution of $1,000, which will compound and grow over the course of their lives and could grow into very, very substantial numbers. Parents, employers, churches, states, and loved ones will also be able to add up to $5,000 in additional money for those accounts. And with every modest contribution, Trump accounts should reach at least $50,000 in value by the time the child turns 18, and could be very substantially more than that. With slightly greater contributions, the typical account will grow to $100,000, $200,000, and can even grow up to past $300,000 per child. And we think the most likely cases in the $200,000, $300,000 range. The size and scale of this wealth will dwarf all government programs ever created to benefit America's youth. There's never been anything like this. That's why everybody's talking about it.
I think it's awesome. I'm glad he's doing it. The policy pitch is massive, but this incomplete tweet hints at bigger numbers even coming. President Trump says there's a certain person that's here, the greatest and most successful female rapper. She's stepping up, investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in Trump accounts to support the children of her incredible fans. Wow.
She went crazy when she heard that this was happening. I want to go. You know, she happens to be in the wrong state right now for that. But when she heard that there's a certain person that's here who's the greatest and most successful female rapper in history, Nicki Minaj. Come on. And, you know, and Nicki makes a lot of cash. Not as much as Michael Dell. Not quite. Not as much. But that's okay. But Nicki makes a lot of money, and she's generously stepping up. She's investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in Trump accounts to support the children and really the children of her incredible fans. That's great. Focus on that. Why should you give to somebody else's fans? Give to your fans. I like that. But and I just think she's great. You know, I've been hearing so much over the years because I didn't know Nicki, and I've been hearing over the years she's a big Trump supporter and a Trump fan, and she took a little heat on occasion. Her community isn't necessarily, I tell you, we did pretty damn well with that, with your community, as we say. But Nicki has been an unbelievable supporter. She gets almost as much as Mr. Wonderful over here. He's been another one that's been so good. But
Mr. Wonderful there, too. From policy to celebrity partnership, Trump's about to reveal how Minaj is putting her money where her mouth is. Excuse me. There's a certain person that's here. Minaj doubles down. Well, here's Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, on the Trump accounts.
On behalf of all the entrepreneurs in America, I'd like to thank you, Mr. President, because we create 72% of the jobs. Companies 5 to 500 employees, and all we care about is policy. We love policy, pro-business policy, and these accounts are fantastic for independence and support. I thank you very much. It's all about the entrepreneur, and I think you know that, sir.
All about the entrepreneur. Love it. O'Leary brings the entrepreneur credibility, but the real validation comes from the corporate giants signing up. Here's what President Trump had to say.
Trump accounts officially launch on July 4th of this year. Every parent will be able to activate their accounts and access the funds at the trumpaccounts.gov. So it's all set up, all ready to go. It's beautiful. The site is beautiful. On that glorious day, we also expect to have commitments from generous private individuals in all 50 states, and they'll be making additional contributions for children in their own states. And
I need to find out. I think we've looked into this before, but I need to find out if I can sign up my kids for these Trump accounts. Let's see. With these new Trump accounts that are coming online this year on July 4th, can children who've already been born buy into the program if the parents put money into it now? Let me know. Let's see what the results are. Let's see what it says. We'll get those results for you in just a moment. So the corporate lineup is impressive, but Michael Dell's about to paint a long-term vision. Let's check this out.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you heard from Brad, the fact that this bill got passed itself was a miracle, and it creates a platform for communities, for families, for corporations, for philanthropists to add to these accounts. And in not too many years, essentially every child in America will have savings invested in the greatest companies in this country. And that will change the face of this country over the next 10, 20, 30 years. We couldn't be more excited about this and the opportunity to make a difference. The best investment a country can make is in its people, especially in its children. And this creates an incredible platform for that to occur at enormous scale, and we're excited to see it all come together. Thank you all so much.
Excuse me, I have an answer for you now and how it works. Let me pull up the speaker, and here we go.
Trump accounts, the Child Investment Savings Program expected to launch around July 4 to 5th, 2026.
What happened? Okay, try again.
Here's the clearest summary of how the new Trump accounts, the Child Investment Savings Program expected to launch around July 4 to 5th, 2026, will work, and whether children already born can buy into or have money put into them today. 1. Who qualifies for a Trump account? Any child under age 18 with a U.S. Social Security number can have a Trump account opened for them. There's no age minimum beyond that or requirement that they be newborns. However, the special $1,000 federal seed contribution from the government is limited to children who are U.S. citizens with a SSN and were born between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2028. That means children already born before 2025 won't get the $1,000 federal deposit, but you can still open a Trump account for them and contribute funds as long as they're under 18. 2. Can parents put money in now, even before July 4? No contributions are allowed before the accounts officially open on July 4, 2026. The law states accounts exist but cannot receive deposits, including parent contributions, until that date. 3. When can parents start putting money in? Starting July 4th, 2026, families, friends, and employers can begin making deposits into a Trump account. Parents can plan ahead now by filing the IRS Form 4547 when they do their 2025 taxes, which is how they register the account, so it's ready to go once contributions open. 4. How contributions work. After July 4th, families and others can contribute up to $5,000 per year per child. Multiple sources can fund the account: parents, relatives, employers, charities, and some employers are already saying they'll match contributions for employee children. Funds generally can't be withdrawn until the child turns 18, similar to a traditional IRA. 5. Summary. Can children already born be included? Yes. Any child under 18 can have a Trump account opened for them. No. Parents cannot put money in now before July 4th, 2026. Children born before 2025 won't get the $1,000 federal seed money, but contributions can be made for them once the accounts open and continue until they turn 18. If you want, I can also walk through how to prepare now with IRS Form 4547, so the account is ready as soon as contributions open. Just let me know.
All right, well, I love it. So that means I can, so when I file for my taxes this year, then I can go ahead and open up the accounts for my kids and put some money in. This is good news. All right. I'm glad I figured that out. Let's go back to this now. Here's a wife of a farmer from Virginia speaking on what Trump accounts will mean for her family.
With us today is Craig Smith, a fourth-generation family farmer and volunteer firefighter from Culpeper, Virginia, along with his wonderful wife, Heather. Craig and Heather have an 18-month-old son and a 1-month-old that they also welcomed just recently, twin boys. And they can't wait to activate Trump accounts for all 3 of their children this July 4th. Craig and Heather, do you want to come up here, Craig and Heather? Where are you, Craig and Heather? Come on up, Craig and Heather, come on up. Come on up. It meant so much to them. You know, people write letters. Every once in a while you get a letter, it just hits you. Craig and Heather, come on up. Thank you. That's great. Wow, look at this family, huh? They're a rich family now. The kids are richer than the parents. It's the way we want it. Thank you very much. Wow.
We just want to thank President Trump for all of his hard work and dedication to American families and farm families like ours. Farming is not always easy and sometimes margins are tight, so investments like this into our children really help us to buy diapers and formula and not have to worry about making financial decisions for them this early on. So thank you very much, President Trump.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. So here is what this is. Trump is creating a system where the companies can invest in your kids. And they will be invested in the greatest companies in this country. But who decides which companies are the greatest? Probably the top 500. But of course, their kids will have these accounts. Now, it sounds generous until you realize it makes every American child a stakeholder in whatever economic system the government chooses. When your kid's future depends on government-selected investments, you become a lot less likely to vote against the party managing those investments. Now, this isn't about helping families, though. Of course it is. It's about creating financial futures from birth. And once parents see those account balances growing, they will stand up and support the system because their kids' financial futures literally will depend on it. But here's a question. Do you want the government managing your child's investment portfolio? Check out the Next News merch shop for gear that doesn't require government approval.
The system controls information. Information control is power. I don't want you to see this. Truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.